Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, broadcasting from Section X Studios at the center of the Earth, and this is the Pop Culture Breakdown with Overlord DVD, a rundown of the top pop culture stories and rumors of the day. Before we get to the rumors I've heard regarding Indiana Jones 5, here's a feel-good story for you to enjoy. As of April 20th, Viacom CBS stock has lost approximately 60% of its value in less than a month. The media is spinning this precipitous drop in company value to some arcane fiscal mechanisms and so on, but Doomcock is not really a financial analyst. So to discuss this precipitous drop in solvency, let's say hello to Pop Culture Breakdown's senior financial analyst, Harvey Cthulhu. Harvey, what do you have to say about the situation with Viacom CBS?
They're screwed, dude. Get woke, go broke.
Is that your assessment as a financial expert? I mean, I could have told you that much.
Hey, it is what it is. This is the kind of thing that happens when you got a streaming service and you keep shoveling woke garbage on there like Star Trek Discovery and Twilight Zone. Those shows bomb, you keep renewing them, they keep bombing, then finally you relabel CBS All Access as Paramount Plus, then you make more trash Trek. Eventually, even the pigs turn up their noses and say, no thanks, I can roll in the mud for free.
And what is your prediction for Viacom CBS stock?
Pain. Back to you, Chet.
My name's not Chet, but thank you, Harvey. Personally, this is my feel-good story of the day. A company that resolutely and continuously spits in the faces of their longtime fans, then find themselves broke and forgotten. Such are the wages of woke. And now, our main story. My friends, last Friday I came out with a video linking information gathered from sources behind the scenes to recent developments like the week-long silence of the Star Wars social media group and a very suspicious Star Wars rumor dump that ran counter to all the other rumors of discord within Lucasfilm, and seemed to say Kennedy would be pleased as punch to have Jon Favreau succeed her as Lucasfilm president. All of this seemed to strongly indicate that folks are living in very interesting times at Lucasfilm. Something major is obviously happening behind the scenes, and while sources do not agree as to the specifics of that something, it appears that Kennedy may be finally on her way out of the president's chair, or at the very least, may be barred from the kingdom of Star Wars now that her experimental infusion of identity politics into Star Wars has failed so spectacularly. At the end of last Friday's video, I mentioned there was another angle to this story and that I would be releasing a separate video to address this additional information. My friends, this is that video, and the aforementioned separate angle involves Indiana Jones 5. If what I've been told is true, Kennedy's position at Lucasfilm has been either weakened or terminated due to this straw that has seriously stressed the camel's back. That said, everything that I'm about to tell you is information I've received from a number of sources claiming inside knowledge of what's happening at Disney and Lucasfilm, but since I can personally verify none of it, I am presenting this strictly as unverified rumor, and I ask you to take it, please, with a grain of salt. Before I get into the incident that allegedly got Kennedy into hot water with Disney, it's important to understand a little bit of background here. Back in November of 2019, the BBC reported that Phoebe Waller-Bridge had been hired to do a script revision on the film that will allegedly cuck James Bond and give the 007 number to a woman of color. Of Waller-Bridge's participation, the BBC wrote, quote, Phoebe Waller-Bridge says she has added some little spices to the new James Bond film No Time to Die. The award-winning writer, actress, and creator of Fleabag says she was brought on board to help out with the script for the 25th official 007 installment. They were just looking for tweaks across a few of the characters and a few of the storylines, she adds. No Time to Die will be the first Bond film to come out in the era of Pound Me Too and Time's Up movements. But while questions have been raised in recent years about the misogynistic and domineering way James Bond has traditionally treated women, Waller-Bridge insists she was not told to change the culture of the films. They were already doing that themselves, she says. They're having that conversation with themselves the whole time. Her involvement, was much more practical. Just, you're a writer, we need some help with these scenes, and you come up with some dialogue for these characters. Ana de Armas, who will also be seen in No Time to Die, says Bond fans will notice the shift in dynamics in the new film. It's pretty obvious that there is an evolution in the fact that Lashana is one of the main characters in the film and wears the pants. Literally. Ana de Armas told the magazine. For those of you who don't know, Lashana Lynch is the actress who will allegedly cuck Bond and take his place, thus utterly and completely destroying the James Bond franchise. And believe me, if it's as bad as I'm hearing, I will be screaming from the highest mountain when the time comes. But fairly or unfairly in regards to Bond's alleged and imminent cucking, Phoebe Waller-Bridge has been blamed for it by fans with little information to go on. In Hollywood, they say that perception equals reality, and so Disney must have been fully aware of Waller-Bridge's woke reputation when they announced that she was going to be the female lead in Indiana Jones 5. To fans, this seemed like an outright provocation, yet more spitting in their faces. Here was a woman complicit in, if not outright to blame for, the castration of one testosterone-fueled franchise, a symbol of intersectional feminism, and she was being deliberately waved in the faces of Indiana Jones fans like a red cape in front of an enraged bull. Twitter erupted in outrage over this casting announcement, surely a sign that Indiana Jones was about to be cucked as well. Fans recoiled in disgust. This felt like more of the same. Ruin Johnson subverting expectations all over again. Luke got cucked, James Bond is about to be castrated and executed, and now it seems this casting choice is announcing that Indiana Jones is about to be sacrificed on the altar of feminism. The cry went out, Indiana Jones 5 is dead on arrival, and fans wondered what in God's name was Disney thinking, making a casting choice like this. Well, if my sources are correct, my friends, Disney wasn't thinking about this at all. In fact, Disney was caught by surprise by this announcement, and if what I've been told is true, they weren't any happier than the fans. In my video last week, I discussed receiving a lot of information from multiple sources about Kennedy's troubles behind the scenes, but I didn't discuss what may well be the primary incident that triggered those many alleged troubles. In looking into the matter of Kennedy's continued presidency at Lucasfilm, my agents came up with this surprising tidbit of information. Quote, Kathleen Kennedy was specifically told that Indiana Jones 5 was delayed until further notice and to stop any and all scripts and all casting calls. This was just a few weeks ago, and she went and cast a lead anyway, unquote. This is a reference to the recent announcement that made every Raiders fan throw up their hands and their lunches in pure disgust. The announcement that Phoebe Waller-Bridge had landed the female lead in Indy 5, a sure sign that the horrible wokeness rumored to be destroying the James Bond franchise was coming to destroy Indiana Jones. The announcement lit a fire inside the fandom, and pitchforks were broken out accordingly. But according to this rumor, Kennedy was not authorized to cast anyone or to make any announcements in regard to Indy 5. Indeed, the contrary was actually true. My source continued, quote, there is most definitely a move being made, and it's possible Kennedy cut her own throat. According to this source, Kennedy's announcement of Phoebe Waller-Bridge landed her in hot water because Indiana Jones 5 had been delayed without a date, or TDD. She hired this individual without even consulting with Disney or any CEO, even though she is supposed to. This and everything else has her back against the wall. The fact is, ever since Gina's firing, it's been all downhill, and Kennedy has been the scapegoat, for the lack of a better term. There are individuals that were backing her, that have now reached their breaking point. Unquote. This may well have been the straw that broke the camel's back, the incident that started the ball rolling, resulting in a silent Star Wars account on Twitter. An emergency dump of rumors, I'm told, not only emerged from the Kennedy camp, but at least partly from Kennedy's desk itself. If this rumor is true, I imagine this announcement was designed not only to force Disney's hand to keep moving forward with the production of Indiana Jones 5, but also as a middle finger to white male fans already sore over the coming cucking of James Bond, a finger that says, we don't give a shit what you toxic males want. The Force is female, and so is everything else in the Magic Kingdom. The fandom erupted, hopes and expectations for Indy 5 went right down the toilet, and suddenly it made sense why Steven Spielberg walked away from directing the movie. Apparently, cutting Indy's nuts off wasn't something that sat well with the director of Raiders of the Lost Ark, and he decided to bow out rather than participate in the castration. I can't imagine this is the reaction Disney wanted to the rollout of Indy 5. And yet another source says, quote, is Kennedy out? That decision hasn't been made, but she can't make any decisions on Star Wars moving forward. If she does, her contract and what is left of it is void. Everyone is pissed about this. This is the second time she's gone over their head and just said, fuck you, I'll do what I want, unquote. Indeed, my agents relate this about one of my longtime sources. Quote, blank told us it's over. She's done. We blew him off with dude, not this again, etc. Then he said, no, this is real. Everyone at Disney is in survival mode, and all the problems are being laid at her feet simply because she's an easy target right now. Disney has taken all power from her and may even cancel Acolyte or at least delay it. And the entire writing group for the High Republic is on their way out the door, unquote. With regard to Kennedy's departure, one of my sources doesn't think her departure will be made public, and if it is, it will be, quote, something along the lines of, she's stepping down to pursue her own whatever BS they come up with, and they will use her NDA with her severance package to keep her quiet by drip-feeding her so much money a year. If she says anything or there is a leak, she loses all that money, unquote. But this particular source claims they haven't heard any official announcement in regards to Kennedy as of yet. So there it is, my friends. While the specifics of Kennedy's fate remain shrouded in the fog of war, the consensus is she's effectively finished at Lucasfilm. When and if there will be any announcement, no one can say. And now, this. And here, with a 30-second film review, our senior film analyst, Harvey Cthulhu.
And now, 30-second film reviews by Harvey Cthulhu. Today's episode, Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel is a movie about a sneaky cat. He pretends to be Nick Fury's lovable little friend until the time is right and he strikes. Fury loses an eye but gains a piratical fashion accessory. Also, there's this Captain Marvel chick. She's kind of a bitch. The end.
This has been 30-second film reviews by Harvey Cthulhu.
From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry.